Who do I think the strongest benders are in all the 4 elements of Avatar: The Last Airbender? This is such a hard question because there's a difference between prodigies and the strongest. I think in this video I want to do who are the biggest prodigies in each element, not necessarily who is the strongest, in my opinion. Because prodigies and who is the strongest is not the same. That's a separate video and I really want to do prodigies first. Let's go in the Avatar cycle order. This is so fun! Also, just so you know, this is considering the entire Avatar universe, so this is my opinion. But I'm going to back it up with facts, so it's a very good opinion, in my opinion, a right opinion. Starting off with probably the most controversial, Katara for water. What about Amon? What about Amon? This is why I put her above Amon. Ready? Amon's a freaking beast. By the time he was 14, he knew all the crap that he did, but he'd also been training to do everything he did for years and years and years. Like, that was like his dad's whole thing was driving this into him. Katara literally learned everything she did in like a few weeks with Master Pakku, and by the end, she's the biggest beast. I am dying to see what she's gonna be like in the adult gang movie. I've said that like a billion times, but I stand by it, and Katara is definitely my prodigy for water because of the amount of time she learned it. That's literally what a prodigy is, a young person who learned what they did in a very short amount of time. But Amon is a very close second, and I honestly wouldn't argue with you if you thought he was better. I just disagree. Water, we go Katara. On to Earth. You know her, you love her, no one debates it. Toph Beifong. I'm not gonna spend as much time here because, again, everyone agrees typically with this one. Or just side note, the amount of respect Toph gets in her respective element is how much respect I think Katara should get, but because there's some weird stigmas around her, she doesn't get it. Anyways, the point is Toph for Earth. Moving on. For Fire, we also have an undisputed, like, people don't argue it, queen. Azula. Same vibes. Everyone says Azula's like a beast. They freaking love her. They say she's such a badass. And then they're like, oh, Katara. But Katara beats her every single time that they fight. Okay, this is turning into a Katara video. Anyways, the point is, Azula easily for Fire. When you read the comics, you see that she had trained like all of her life under the Fire Lord and all of that stuff. I get that. I know she had a ton of training, kind of like Amon, but she's the only one that has blue fire to this day. Like, that's pretty insane. Not to mention, also in the comics, you find out that a big reason that their bloodline is so powerful is because they intentionally did an arranged marriage between Roku's bloodline and the royal bloodline. That's why it's so funny to me when people argue that, like, Mako's stronger than Zuko. No. Like, canonically, the royal family is the most insane bloodline ever. And last but not least for Air, we've got Aang. People do these, they usually leave the avatars out of it, but not this time. Because before Aang even knew he was the Avatar, he was the most insane airbender that, like, the monks had ever seen. By the time he was 10 years old, he was better than, like, all of his masters. And by the time he was 12, he had his airbender tattoos. That is some insane level talent. You could make an argument for Jinora, but there are so many airbenders we didn't see. And Aang packs Jinora. Sorry, he just does. Granted, he is the Avatar, so if we're going not off of avatars, I would say Jinora. Anyways, couple of little sidetracks there that I would actually love to do individual videos on. But let me know who you think the best prodigies in each element are. But I think that list is pretty accurate.